Hi children, welcome to the chemistry class. So till now we have discussed about the cell and the microscope. Now invention of electron microscope, how it has changed the modern science. So and the function of electron microscope is that tissues beam of accelerated electrons as a source of illumination. The wavelength of electron microscope can be 1 lakh times shorter than of visible light photons. So imagine children, so very minute microorganism can be observed. And electron microscopes have a higher resolving power than light microscope and reveal the structure of smaller objects. And EM, what is EM? Electron microscopy is a technique for obtaining high resolution images of biological and non-biological specimens. It is used in biomedical research to investigate the detailed structure of tissues, cells, organelles and macromolecular and micromolecular complexes. So if you know the structure, and then it will be easy to suppose cells or tissues to manufacture medically, that is scientifically. Next, cell theory. What is cell theory? Mathis Quader. So they have proposed a cell theory that all animals and plants are composed of cells which serves as the units of structure and function. And in short, this will say cell theory, and it was proposed by Squam and Skelton in the year 1839. Sir Rudolf Virchow in 1858 made an addition to the cell theory by saying that all cells arise from pre-existing cells. So cell theory states three major points. The cell is the smallest unit of structure of all living things. Cell is the smallest unit of structure of all living things. The cell is the unit function of all living things. And all cells arise from pre-existing cells. And it is universally accepted that living organisms are made up of cells, and they are the basic structural and organization unit of all organisms, and that all cells came from pre-existing cells. The three tenets of cell theory as we discussed now. Now cell theory, three parts. What is that? Structural unit, functional unit. So what is structural unit? If we take any part of a body of a frog, cockroach or any leech or a mango plant, so if you examine under a microscope, it will show a cell structure. Like in your previous class, you have studied a structure of animal cells and plant cells. What it is? It is a cell theory only. That is structural unit. And functional. What is functional unit? Any function in the body of a frog or in a mango plant is due to activity in its cells, that is movement and movement of enzymes, and then photosynthesis occur in the plants. This all comes under functional unit. So Sweden worked with plants and Squam worked with animals, that they are structural and functional unit. And cells come from other cells. So Virchow saw the cells dividing under the microscope. And next, modern cell theory. What is modern cell theory? Contains four statements in addition to the original cell theory. The cell contains hereditary information, which is DNA, is passed from cell to cell during cell division. And all cells are basically the same in chemical composition and metabolic activities. All basic chemical and physiological functions are carried out inside the cell, that is movement, digestion, nutrition, etc. Cell activity depends on the activities of subcellular structures within the cell, organelles, nucleus and plasma membrane. This is about the modern cell theory. The living cells. There are four concepts of cell theory definition. Basic structure and functional unit of life. All activities for life occur in cells. Human body contains 3 trillions of cells. Biochemical activities of cell are dictated by other organelles. How many cells make up an organisms? How numerous? So single cell. What is a single cell? Many small plants and animals are made up of only single cell. For example, bacteria, yeast and amoeba. Organisms may be composed of one cell or many cells. One cell or many cells. Single cell are also called unicellular, containing only one cell. Example, bacteria, yeast and amoeba. And multicellular contains many cells. So very small plants and animals are made up of few cells. So there are many cells composed of organisms composed of many cells are multicellular. Human beings are made up of trillions of cells. For example, human beings, trees. In average size, adult human constitute approximately 1000 million cells in the whole body. And cells, how small? You know how small the cells are? They are very small. Smallest cells are bacteria, red blood cells in the human body. And longest cells are the nerve cells. So nerve cells from it can be measured from your fingertip to the spinal cord inside your backbone. Those are the longest. And largest cells are birds, eggs. Actually, the central yellow sphere, ostrich, the biggest bird animal, that is ostrich egg. And this, if you see here, DNA cell, that is 2 nanometers, cold virus 25 nanometers, typical prokaryotic cell 1 to 5 microns, mitochondria, eukaryotic cos, chicken egg 5 sphere. These are small. So you can see from increasing order. See, those small cells, cold viruses, DNA, those can be studied under electron microscope. And eukaryotic cell and mitochondria can be studied in light microscope as well as electron microscope. But unaided human eye, chicken egg, that can be studied in light microscope. See, lung, alveoli, pollen grains, bacteria, virus, combustion exhaust, that is pollution, atom. In chemistry we are discussing about that only. So neurons, and then hair, blood cell, DNA, C60, carbon. So these are about cell sizes. Cell size and significance of smallness, surface to volume ratio, growth rates and evolution. Cells generally remain small in size. This is so two main reasons, that is different regions of cell can communicate with each other rapidly for the cell to function effectively. Cells have a large surface area, volume ratio for greater diffusion of substance in and out of the cell. So to understand the second advantage about the surface area volume ratio, a cube of which its size measuring 2 nanometers, the total surface area of the cube will be 2 into 2 into 6, that is 24 square meters. See, surface area of one large cube is 5400 micrometers and 30 micrometers, and the length and is 10 micrometers. And total surface area of 20 small cubes is 16,200 micrometer. Suppose if we cut a cube into 8 equal smaller cubes by reducing each size by half its length, and then total surface area of this smaller cubes, that is 1 into 1 into 30. So that is 10 into 10 into 30, that comes 16,200. So that is about the smallness of cell size. Why cells are so small? Small cells have high surface area to volume ratio, which allows more stuff to move in and out of the cell. So total surface area, height, width, number of sides and number of boxes. Suppose it is 6. Volume 1, surface area 6. So it depends upon the volume, surface to volume, total surface area. And variations in shape and size, that will be discussed in the next class. Okay children, have a good day. Bye bye and thank you.